podcastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
I'm over here jamming, enjoying the music. Hi, humans. I am Melikia K, Courtney, and you are joining me for SXP Metamorphosis 365. That means that every day you get to grow. And no, I'm not going live every day. It ain't that. But it is that you can press play, because I've got enough episodes and enough content for you just to press play every day. Plus, pray every day, that part. And let's get to these gratitudes. Hello. And thank you, Blast Music 247, for hosting me in the podcast and having me. It's so fun being here, and it's a great place to be if you're looking to host your own podcast and be loved and part of a good community. This is that. What else to be said? Troy Saha, the grown-up. I have an adult. I keep an adult with me to do adult electronic things because I just ain't that human. I'm not her. No. So thank you, Troy, for being here and being my guy in the chair so I can do a superhero move and moving my superhero line. I'm going to stay with my cape, my comfortable hoodie cape. All right, so today's topic, let's hop to it. Y'all, it's only been a week. Yeah, it's only been a week since I've been here, but I could tell you that it's been an incredibly interesting week. I'm so blown away that it's only 7 days. Like, Jesus, there's been so much crammed into this last week. And today we are hopping together to have a great conversation, like not even a simple one. So please do grab your pen and papers for my note takers and your thinking cap for the thinkers, and then crack open your heart real wide, because I'm fit to mess with it. Episode 15, and we're talking about heart, mind, and principles to live by. Why on earth would anybody bother speaking about that? Glad you asked. When you look around at your society, what are you seeing? Like, what are you seeing? Because I'm going to share with you guys some things that I've been seeing that have me with raised eyebrows, okay? Hairline raised. And then even beyond your society, when you're looking at your environment, what's that looking like? And then I'll push a little further. What about the people? What are you seeing in the people? I'm not just talking about necessarily the people who are in your circle, be it small or vast. I'm speaking of all of the folks that you got to deal with, right? That you're interacting with as you move about your day. I am literally asking us just to take a minute and really think about that. What is the experience? What are you noticing? And then bottom line, how are you feeling about it? So let's jump right into it. And if you have not caught the prior episodes, I don't know what you're waiting on, do go ahead and do that, because some of the things I'll refer to are already in that episode, so I'm not going to drop it all out. And you can go hunting and find those Easter eggs. Same time, we about to have this conversation right here. So I know that we all need guideposts to live by. Like, we hopped up off in this body, and a lot of our parents found themselves without instructions and still expected to do such a phenomenal job when they were not equipped for it. And then some who were the studies and the astutes, and they were planning and they were ready, and they had a true choo-choo train to hop you on and drive you forward, even if it wasn't the choo-choo train that matched who you are, being, body, mindset, or soul. At least they had some tracks for you, okay? Now let's wrap the thought into what we're experiencing last week. From the course of the week to the week, I've had some incredible, wonderful things happening, like my niece's bat mitzvah. It was absolutely wonderful. She was stunning, and the prayers were gorgeous, and everything went beautifully. Her mom did really, really well. And planning that, I can say that I was in a room full of almost 100 and so people who were about that love life, who cared about one another, not only cared, but who took time and helped to set up and to take down, who took time to make sure everyone had their needs met, and the elderly were tended to and taken care of and loved, and the young had guidance, whether they're playing or running here or running there, but they were looked out for. It was community. I am fortunate to have communities and be a community adjacent type of human. I have sought those out. It was not like just by chance, right? Now on the flip side of it, I would say how. And I had several ignorant conversations with several ignorant folks. And I was definitely tempted to join the ignorant choo-choo train and ride out. You know what I mean? And just act out. I'm finding that we have abandoned kindness. Like, we done kicked kindness to the curb, and I don't get it. I like kindness. I want it back. We have kicked sanity, straight kick sanity, like in the back, down some stairs, and then watched it bleed at the bottom. I don't know what is going on, you guys. What is happening to us? I'm old enough to remember, aged enough, because I ain't old. I'm aged enough to remember people speaking and saying hello, walking down the street, instead of being plastered into these things right here, or this one right here, like they suddenly were attacked by a bird and had to look away from meeting someone's eyes, seeing their humanity, and acknowledging the person you see. It is incredible, the depths that folks will go to. And then here comes a little soft spot for me. Home is littered with refugees and homeless. And in so many states, it's been made illegal to be homeless, which is freaking insanity because no resources are being offered. But I don't have it in me. If I have it in my hand or my pocket or my account, and I'm walking past women who are laying in the street with multiple children with little candy bars or signs, my heart is moved to take action. And even if that action is only prayer for that moment, I'm going to take an action. So this kind of conversation really is to jar you. We can get comfortable doing our daily lives. And sometimes it feels just so much safer and quieter just to be about our circle and no freaking body else. I tend to myself, I tend to my mates, I tend to my pets, I tend to my parents, I tend to my children. And then I might go to church on Sunday and like some of those people, but I'm not going to draw them close. I'm not going to create community around them. I'm not going to touch the principles of Christ concerning them. I'm just not going to do it. But I might run around with that Christian banner and say, oh, how I love the Lord. Well, let me offend you a little bit through love. Let me piss you off a little bit and say, where do you fit in this beautiful puzzle? Where do you fit? Are you comfortably silent, off to the side, literally tending to you and yours? Or have you eyes and a heart for beyond your household? Because that is the day we are living in. We are no longer living in the day where you get to mind yours and your own and keep it moving. Because if you're tracking and paying close attention, you're noticing how more food deserts are being created. You're noticing the number of layoffs and firings that are happening across this nation. And if you know, like I know, because I grew up on the south side of Chicago, folks gonna eat by any means necessary. So for the wise who have prepared, and not just enough for themselves, but prepared community for those around them, they're gonna have a better time of it. They're gonna have a better time of any challenges that come financially, community-wise, society-wise, religion-wise, politics-wise. I hope you're paying attention. What's the whole freaking point of this conversation? Well, like I said, heart, mind, and principles to live by. So let me go ahead and jump into one and continue to shape this conversation for you. Love and compassion. All of the things that I mentioned before, a lot of the things that I saw last week was a lack of love and compassion. I saw people vying for themselves, disregarding mothers and disregarding elderly. Blew my mind. I still have that slight twinge and fear in the back of my head that if I pull it, my mom's shoe or my grandma's hand is going to come flying at me. So I do have helpful reminders to remember heart. I have helpful reminders. I make jokes about that shoe and such, but I do remember, like, my parents and adults around me, they insisted that I not close my eyes to the people around me, that I not close my eyes to their hurt or their pain or their suffering, because any of that they were going through was mine as well, even if only to pray for them. Why do I keep touching back to that? Because you gotta be aware of it. You have to be willing to look at it to even be able to pray for it. And I'm not talking about that quick, oh God help them. But even if that's what you got, okay, fine. But I am encouraging you to go deeper. Let's talk about this love and compassion. Emphasizing the love of God for others and including loving one's own enemy. I know that's an irritating statement to some, but it's really not an option. It's not an option if you plan or say you want to live a life that is a healed mind, you have a heart of principles, that you are abiding, like God is your abide, then I would like to see the folks that are running around making those statements that God is your abide. I want to see something behind it. I want to see something more in your mouth moving. I like to see you in motion, get something done. Pumpkin, get something done, and not just your 10% tithes on a Sunday to a church that you may not even be paying attention to where that money is being sent off to. I am speaking about an honest to God love and compassion that sees fully without the fear of what's there, that is willing to approach it and deal with whatever is there. That is love. That is compassion. I do understand that some folks are this boat saying, some folks have an opinion that love and compassion are not strong, that they don't show up with force, or they don't come with banging drums and clanging cymbals to make change happen or to create something new. I don't ascribe to that. I don't subscribe to that at all. Sometimes love is very firm. Sometimes love is telling the person where to get off and showing them where to get off. Sometimes that's love too. Sometimes love is gathering with your community to weep, march, snap, and create change. Flat out. So I encourage you to move in your love and compassion. And then again, I did mention to you that some of the episodes before, I've dug deeper into what those are, love and compassion, in very detail. So I suggest you go and really, if you'd like to know and hear more of that heart and what love and compassion could look like for you, please do go back and listen to the other episode. Same time, what is love to you? Is love just enough? Is love abounding and overwhelming? Is love big enough? Which brings me to a story time. So I had today from below. I was messing with a raggedy airline. I'm gonna say the name. Yup. We're gonna be paid today. Frontier Airline. And I say Melikia's fault because I booked that ticket with that airline. And I totally had forgot. They had did some reckless stuff maybe like a year ago. And I zoned out. I wasn't paying attention. Definitely did book with these geniuses. And I had an experience that was not good. And it was amazing to me when one of the workers looked at me and shot a little nasty comment to the tune of, why didn't I just bend over and take it? And he didn't use those words, but that was his heart. His heart was not of compassion. He had no love for me. He didn't give a rat's crack about the person standing in front of him. His comment was literally to the tune of, why didn't you just bend over and take it? Why didn't you just pay more money on top of what you already paid, because of their little extortion setup that they have in the airport kiosk there, but no access to the human to sign in on them or get their boarding pass. So you have to talk to another person. You have to pay this more money for this. You have to do that, like every other step, and a lot of more delays. So either how, it was a very frustrating experience, and it blew my mind. Not only that person, but the manager herself. She also held the same sentiment. And then there was no desire for accountability or responsibility for the position she held or he held or their company. It was all on the customer. And I offer you that story because it really feels like, when I look around, I am seeing too many examples of people who are willing to not take accountability, who are willing to blame the person that they've infringed upon. Well, why are you mad? Someone was bullying you. Well, why didn't you just be quieter? Well, why didn't you just bend over and take it? And I'm not saying that love and compassion is calling you to bend over and take it. In fact, the opposite. I am saying that love and compassion should compel you. Let it compel you. I won't use should. I would just say allow love and compassion compel you to stand up and to take the actions you need to take to be a better freaking human. I would love to see a better human rise, like a better love, a more focused, aware, and diligent, and active and diligent love, vigilant love arise, right? Okay, 2. Oh yeah, and that was the point. Loving your enemies. Like I still have to be loving to those people. I said what I said. I sure did. And I asked them, were they crazy? I really did. Like, have you bumped your head? Like, do you hear what you're saying to me? And you think that's okay? Like, you think it's okay. And a lot of businesses have moved into this unethical behavior. You think it's okay to fleece your customers, to gouge? I don't. Do you think it's okay to fleece a mate's emotion or gouge? I don't. Do you think it's okay to fleece or gouge your community and take what doesn't belong to you, stealing, thieving, killing, acting a fool, destroying, littering, all that nastiness? No, it is not okay. And some people don't have anybody to say it to them that it's not okay. So let me be the first. It's not okay. It's not okay. Knock it off. We could do better. We could be better. Okay, great. Forgiveness. Number 2, always number 2. Forgiveness is a must. It's a must. It's a must. Encouraging the forgiveness of others as God forgives. And I don't normally speak directly from a churchy type of vibe or language, but this is just is so relevant, it's pertinent, and it's a must. And encouraging the forgiveness of others and as God forgives us. I know I like to be forgiven. I make some mistakes, and I got a mouth. And if you push it far enough, I got a temper to run back at that mouth. And I have training to run back at all of those. So I do have to make sure that I keep me in a certain amount of check. It's a must. And a lot of my work to keep me in check is I forgive. I forgive. I forgive. It hurts. I'm pissed. I still got to forgive. Story time. Dealing with that simple-minded racist officer 2021 march in the bathroom. I still have to forgive. You know what I mean? I cannot keep that burden of hatred rested in my chest, because you know why? It will cause me to act like them people I don't like seeing act like that. Okay? Having that bitterness rest in my chest and that anger of the situation, does it make it right or righteous on his end? Am I to blame for that situation? He is responsible, and the accountability lays on that officer and all the officers that hired him and all the folks that protected and all the agencies that do his bond. That rests with them. But you know what ain't mine? Vengeance. Vengeance is not mine. So I do my processes. I work on my coping skills. And I process through, but the first of my process was I got to forgive this. I have to forgive it because it would be a stumbling block in my heart. It would not allow me to reflect the principles of who Christ is. It would not. I believe in Christ's principles, and that's kind of what we're running through today, flat out, because these are principles to live by. Even if you don't follow Christ, love and compassion is a universal statement. Forgiveness, allowing people the room to make mistakes and to fall down, and having a means to stand back up and be forgiven and re-engage. These things are a must. Now, the third one, which is faith and trust in God, for those who refuse to bend a knee or open a heart or acknowledge a sovereign God, love, that is up to you. But I will simply say you still operate with faith, because you go to work with all intentions that when you are done working whatever number of hours you work, that you're going to be paid. There's some belief in there somewhere. So I point out that principle of faith and trust in God. And for those of us who do trust in God, for those of us who have seen bullets hit windows at the head level and not go through, for those of us who have seen people fall, hit their head on the windowsill and die and are raised back up, for those of us who have seen blind eyes open, for those of us who have seen miracle after miracle after miracle, still here myself. So I say to us, it is time. It is time to move your faith, like to work it like you work. What comes to mind is like taffy. I have had the pleasure of playing with taffy and stretching that stuff, and it truly is a work. It is not easy. There is some muscle that goes into it, and in the same freaking way, there is some muscle that needs to go into your faith and your trust in God. It is not easy. It is not simple. Story time. I have lived a life where I have seen many, many things. I know what it is to abound, and I know what it is to abase, baby. I know what it is to have cha-cha-cha-cha-ching and to have zero dinero money. So everything in between, the one thing I know is sovereign is God. The one thing that I know is continuous God. The one thing I know that provides is God, okay? So I share that in light of what I shared earlier. Some people don't see that. Some folks don't have the faith or that to pull back on or from. They don't have that. They never knew God. They didn't know the protection of a grandmother who prayed or a mother who prayed. And it is for us who understand it to be able to extend that love. You humans, you who are darling and wonderful and loved by God, please let that be the mirror reflection of who you are when you are dealing with the public, when you are dealing with the community, when you're dealing with your family, when you're dealing with your friends, when you're dealing with raggedy people. I had a pastor one time who called them sandpaper people. I thought that was hilarious, and I think it's applicable. When you're dealing with that abrasive human, when you're dealing with us mentally challenged people, when you're dealing with folks with chemical imbalance, you have a job to do. Your job is to be loving. It is not that freaking hard. Sometimes. Sometimes it might get kind of difficult, but you can do it because I believe you can do it. I believe we can do this. It is time to elevate our love. It is time to elevate our love. One more time. For those in the back, it's time to elevate our love and elevate it in the sense of purify motives. What are you loving for? Who are you loving? How are you loving them? Is it transactional purely? Is it all about what you can get? I give this, so I get that. Are you a possessor? You know what I mean? Must it always be what you say it is in your way, and you're going to manipulate and slime to get it? Are you going to acquiesce to get it? People please to get it? What you doing? This is literally that wake-up call. This is the whole chest, the whole throat wake-up call to Christ's principles, because it's that time of day. It's that time of day. If you are paying attention to a lot of the humans who we love and have as a part of our family and communities, they are giving away sense. They're giving away reality and opting for things that do not benefit them or the people they love. And that is true, like highly and widely. So I don't even have to point it out with more detail. You see what I see. Okay, great. And if you don't, go ahead and slide in my DMs and we can talk about it. I have some real tea. But let me run them back. Love and compassion, forgiveness, humility. Oh, we got to get to humility. See, I skipped humility. Faith and trust in God. So we're going to jump back one. Humility is 3. Advocating for humility and serving others. And I think kind of the rant that I went on earlier literally involved the serving others, but let me stress into the humility part sometimes. And this is the society we live in. It teaches us that the who we are. And yeah, I believe I am freaking amazing. I know that I am God's favorite. I know that I am loved. I know that I experience beautiful, wonderful things. I know that I have favor on my life. I'm very aware of that. And at the same time, I know why. I know why. Because sovereign God. Sovereign divine God, period. Period. That is the only reason that favor rests on my life and that I get to experience the things that I get to experience. Ain't nobody slow. I know that all of my skills and talents and gifts and abilities come from one sovereign God. I'm aware of God in me. So I don't sit around. I don't need to put someone down. I don't need that. I don't need that at all. And nor will I allow someone else to put me down. For clarity's sake, humility is not being a rug and let somebody walk over you. This blows me too while we're on the subject. Have pride in what you do. Have pride in yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And it's mistaught in a lot of the churches. We can talk about that later though. All right. Well, you know what? I probably should look and see where we are on time. Moment, please. Ooh, it's probably time for some for a few of those. Oh no, actually, I got 25 minutes on it, so let me go a little bit more, and then I'll come back. Okay, great. So, let me pay attention though. So, boom. So we got love and compassion. 1, 2, forgiveness. 3, humility. 4, faith and trust in God. For those who consider themselves spiritual, that's not really an option. Okay, 5. Peace and non-violence. Promoting peace and turning the cheek. We understand that as biblical principles. Instead of seeking revenge, I've already touched on that. I do not believe, and I did say this earlier, that non-violence promotes peace automatically. It don't. It just does not. It does not mean that because you choose non-violence all the time, that your peace is going to magically spring up from that. Sometimes non-violence is a peaceful resistance that will yield the result you're looking for. However, other times the peace is just taken advantage of and you're further abused, and there needs to be an action that causes a new action from persecution or oppressors. Okay, great. So pursue peace. I am a fan. I believe in peace. I believe in pursuing it. If you can, sit and listen and stop the madness. And this is you people who like to argue at home or you like to argue on the street. Come on, give it a rest. Give it a rest. That points back to the humility. But peace and nonviolence, there is a way to respond to everything. Everything has poles. You have your positive and your negative pole. How far you want to take it? Do you want to take it fully to the positive? If it's something you can walk away from, something you can literally turn the other cheek and be about your business and not flex it. That crazy lady on the train who decided to tell me she hated Black people, and then the Spanish lady in the store who called my daughter a dirty word, a couple of dirty words in Spanish. Okay, great. She didn't know I understood Spanish. So those people I could have literally took off on like a jet. But what sense would it have made? What sense would it have made? None. Did I say some things? Should I lay my hands on anybody? No, holy hands were laid. Okay, great. So I encourage you guys to explore peace. And I would say even study it. There are incredible writers who took time to explore peace and share their thoughts. And then you have your Holy Bible for those who read that. You have the Quran who reads that. Every spiritual docs that it's fully saturated globally points to peace. It points to peace, and there's evidence for it being the best way. And same time, we don't close our eyes to this side. Okay. Nonviolence, I think that's kind of self-explanatory, and I will say do your best to not react in a violent nature. Am I saying that you don't have a constitutional right to protect yourself and defend yourself? Hell no, I ain't saying it. Not saying that, because you definitely do. You have a right to protect yourself and preserve your life and the life of those who you love, period. So act accordingly. Fast forward. Maybe at the time. Set up with keep track. All right, I'm gonna give it up. I'm gonna give it to Coach for a moment. So I'll be back. Let me hand this over to the grown up in the chair so he can do grown up things. And I will ask you to share the bottom 2 as well for me, please, Troy.
The bottom 2? Okay.
Thank you.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And tonight, our Blast Artist Spotlight is a good friend of mine. His name is Greg Luster, and he has Virtuous, who is with him. And the name of the song is I Believe. Let's check it out.
ask a lot of questions because you want me to know you will and get understanding. I believe. Ooh, I believe. Ooh,
I just can't believe it. You love me for no reason. Even when I push away and I fall back just like the seasons. It's crazy you don't need me, but you know I need you. In the middle of my storm, you say just sit back, let me lead you. Just know that I'm God.
You know the feeling is real. You so in tune with me that you know every hair I got on top of my head. Every move that I make, every step that I take. You know all about it, you know all about it, so I don't need to be fake. I don't know why you died for me. The answer's hard to find, so they're like we're playing hide and seek. But you saw something inside of me, and that's fine with me, because in you is where I find my peace. So when the problems come and make it hard to see, I'ma ride the wave, just like I ride the beat.
I just can't believe it. Yet I still believe it. You died for me. You died for me. I just can't believe it. Yet I still believe it. You set me free. Yeah. I try to wrap my mind around it, but your ways and your thoughts cannot be explained. I ask a lot of questions because you want me to know you will and get understanding. I believe. Ooh, I believe. Ooh,
I be thinking how you love a little sinner like me. They knew about my past, I know they wouldn't like me. You sent your son to die and I don't take it lightly. Any problems that I have, I know you got me.
I believe that you died on the cross. Rose again to save the lost. When it comes to this trip, man, I ain't gonna lie. You're the reason for all of the songs. Gotta run it back, gotta run it back. You the reason for the songs. And I believe that I was bald. You broke the chains and set me free. Ain't no way that I can't believe. It's because of you that I made brand new. I've been purchased, you paid the fee. I don't look like what I've been through. All my sins been washed clean. I hope you understand what I'm saying, virtuous. Won't you tell them what I
just can't
mean?
believe it. Yet I still believe it. You died for me. You died for me. I just can't believe it. Yet I still believe it. You set me free. Yeah. I try to wrap my mind around it, but your ways and your thoughts cannot be explained. I ask a lot of questions because you want me to know you will and get understanding. I believe. Ooh, I believe. Ooh, I believe. I believe in the Father. Yeah. I believe in the Son, the only begotten. I believe in the Holy Ghost. Oh, I believe that you won, and we are more than conquerors. I just can't believe it. Yet I still believe it. You died for me. You died for me. I just can't believe it. Yet I still believe it. You set me free. Yeah. I try to wrap my mind around it, but your ways and your thoughts cannot be explained. I ask a lot of questions because you want me to know you will and get understanding. I believe. Ooh, I believe. Ooh, I believe.
Yes, indeed. And that was Greg Lester with Victorious and I Believe. And if you are an independent artist or a spoken word poet or up and coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But Blast is also looking for the fans. So you can also register as a fan of Blast Music by going to blastmusic247.com, registering as a unlimited fan and having access to hundreds of independent music. Blast. We're constantly changing the industry, one artist at a time. Okay. You needed me to play a video? Is that your SPX
The last
slide?
two on the brand, on the overlays. Actually, I can push the button.
Oh.
If I push the wrong button, just help me. Push the button. I pushed the button. Hey. Okay, cool. So what you guys see here is this Friday we have an open mic. We always have open mics. How about that? And Partners in Rhyme on Clubhouse. Scott Harrell and I co-founded Partners in Rhyme. The room is called Lyrical Vibes. Find us there if you'd like to engage in this conversation and in this poetry. I figure the poets' cups are full. You guys been paying attention to what's going on in the media, and there's entirely too many murders. It's all we're going to say for what exactly it is. This is murder, and they're racially motivated killings and beatings, even as early as I think it was yesterday, the 65-year-old woman in Mississippi who was attacked and tased 8 times. There's too much trash going on that's unchecked. And we'll kind of tie that into the message after the fact, but I wanted to take a moment and say, hey, listen, please do join us. And it's going to be an early start. We normally start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we're going to have an early start, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, to kind of get together as a community and pour it out. Our cups are full. Like, it's a lot going on. And I love that as poets and artists and singers and musicians, we have creative ways to address the pains that we are feeling. And I don't feel like we need to suffer silently or alone. So Scott and I are opening up Partners in Rhyme, and we are inviting all of y'all to come and participate in that Justice open mic. I did offer a few prompts on the flyer. I will have that flyer posted on Instagram and on Facebook as well, so that folks can get it, because literally it is this Friday. I would ask that you read the flyer, share the flyer, and then prepare. If you already have pieces that are written, Sonia Massey, huge impact. Okay, there's so many names. I won't even start naming names because there's so many. Sandra Bland, like there's been so much. So this is an opportunity to come together as a creative community and to pour out the Poet's Cup and kind of help our hearts, help us help one another. Okay, let's have that. Now, initially, we thought it was going to be a 24-hour. Let's see how long it goes. We're going to kick off at 6, and we'll see how long it goes. And possibly, I'll be able to pass a baton to another house, and they'll pass to another house, and we'll keep it going for 24 hours. Let's see what happens. Okay. So, come be a part of that. So, that's one, and then I can push the button again. It's magical. I pushed the button. I'm going to push one more. Ooh. Okay, great. All right, you guys know I have over 20 years in domestic violence awareness. And then the latter portion of that, I've moved into solutions. So what does the solutions look like? The awareness, let's talk about that. The awareness, I'm a public speaker. I share my story, I wrote a book, and I've helped folks come out of that situation, to climb out of the hells of domestic violence. That initial book was The Ladder, How to Escape the Hells of Domestic Violence and Trauma. If you haven't gotten that book and you need it, get in touch with me. Let's go ahead and make that happen. Part 2. Fast forward to this. There are 3 families who need assistance immediately. And if you look at the flyer right there, boom, 30 for 30. I'm looking to have 30 of us donate $30 so that covers the need. We're going to divide the money into 3 evenly, blah, 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 and then get it out to the folks. And as a thank you, I'll send you my book. So it is it's a good exchange, because I believe in giving too. So if you are open and you want to help with that, screenshot, take a picture of your computer, however that works for you right now. And then also, if you don't catch it now, you will be able to catch it on, actually, this is private. This one I'm sending out privately. So if you'd like for me to send it to you, that means you're going to email me at lifeissanctuaryxp. Life is sanctuary, X as in X-ray, P as in Peter, at gmail.com, and then I'll get this flyer out to you, because the DV things I generally do kind of some couple of things out loud, but the most of the stuff we do quietly. All right, so those are 2 things that I just offered. Take advantage, get involved. I hit the button twice. I'm so proud of me. Hold up. Pat myself on the back. I pressed the buttons and I didn't in the room on accident. Okay, great. Back to where we were. Quick recap. Love and compassion. 1. Forgiveness. 2. Humility. 3. Faith and trust in God. 4. 5, peace and nonviolence. And I could iron on a piece of nonviolence a little bit more, but I'm going to have that conversation later. So loves. We are at 6, and I'm doing good on timing. Yay. Justice and righteousness. I love justice. I got a thing for justice, a really big thing for justice. I believe in, I'm one of those humans. I could not stand by and watch someone being bullied and do it quietly. I am one of those humans who can't stand by and be quiet when our leaders are leading in the wrong direction. Not that person. And it motivates me to even have conversations like this. Like, it motivates me to speak out and to love loud and outwardly. Okay, great. So justice and righteousness, you stand up for justice and living a life of integrity. Like, that's a mouthful. I was raised, and this is very simple, but you can apply it to many, many things. I was raised that when you do a job, you do it 100%. Like, you do it like you're doing it unto God. God is standing there, you're performing this task, regardless of how menial, it is unto God. That gave me a whole different lens. Like, growing up with that method of training and level of training, it gives me a clearer view. Like, I don't have the clutter in my eyes when I do a thing. It is my heart to do it 100% and wholeheartedly. That to me is with integrity. And I challenge anyone who doesn't move that way to consider moving that way. Consider thinking when you're mopping your floor, sweeping. Because mind you, I had to learn. I was disciplined. I had to learn, y'all. When I was a kid, I remember having to sweep. I was ridiculous with that sweeping thing because I would sweep it up. I really would want to stick it under push it on the carpet. Like, I sweep it up, I pick this part up, but I can't get this other part up because it's just too much cumbersome fighting with the dustpan and the broom. So I want to sweep the little edges away. And the discipline that came behind it, and the lectures, God, that came behind it. Like, it was drilling, and it was teaching, and it was understanding, because I needed that tuning too. So it's not that it's built in for everybody. I'm not saying that. Maybe for some of us it is, but it can be achieved. You know, having integrity can be achieved. Let's talk about work. Leaving people's pens at work that you ain't buy, your employer did, leaving the toilet paper, leaving the copy paper, leaving whatever that don't belong to you. How about that? Leaving it at work, that can be achieved. You know what I'm saying? You on a clock for this time to this time, you could be working and truly earning, you know, so, and not have an entitlement mindset or begrudge the work that you're blessed to have. That's foolish, right? So justice and righteousness, let's put it into the picture of the humans. When you're in position to take care of a human, either it's a little human or an older human, are you doing it begrudgingly? When it comes to your neighborhood, your front yard, your car, are you doing it begrudgingly? Are you doing it with some integrity when it comes to your community and serving your community and being a support, being a true citizen? Are you doing that with integrity, or doing it just to be done? And then some folks who just do a little bit to be seen, they just need a few pictures to show them doing a little something, but it really ain't their heart, and they really ain't doing jack other than that. You know, this is a conversation and a call to measure yourself, and to offer you 7 principles, like literally Christ principles to live by: love and compassion, forgiveness, humility, faith, and trust in God, peace and nonviolence, justice and righteousness, and then charity. Charity and generosity. Okay, great. Sometimes it feels like we need to be generous with our patience. I think that's the simplest way to say it. Like, generous with our patience. Y'all, when we are in traffic and we want to snap off on John Q. Public and cuss them all out and out their name and their mama, throw things out the window at other cars, whip out weapons, hop out beating people's glasses. Seen folks hop out the car, go kick somebody's car and bang their glass, even to the point where folks have bashed people's glasses in or whipped out on guns. Road rage is the nice little title that they added to it, but that's been going on way before the words were spoken. Are you doing that? Like, for real? And to what degree? And mind you, I am not throwing stones, because I'm going to tell on myself. I'm not telling you to do anything that I haven't come to grips with. I had a time where I was on the road, 5 a.m.-ish in the morning. I was driving my children quite a ways away to the school. Had a woman roll up on me. She did one of those. Woo woo. We swerved. Okay, great. No accident occurred, right? But it shook me up and it shook up the kids, and I was pissed. I was big mad. She ain't make it no better nonsense. And so she straightened up in her lane, and she was giving me the 1-2 with her mouth, and I was giving her the 1-2 in my mouth too. And then she was like, pull over. Game. Let's go. I was not thinking fully. Okay. What do I want to pull over to the side of the road and whip somebody's tail for when I have my kids in the car and I got somewhere to be? You know what I mean? And then she tried to hit my car like 2 more times. So she was really pushing the button to meet me that day, But I understood a couple of things. I understood that it went in blood, and I understood that my kids would be witness to that. For what? What do they need to see their mom carted off in cuffs for? That's stupid. So I encourage you to think it freaking through before you take the actions. And here's one better. Put down your entitlement. Jeez. That's all it is. It is a level of entitlement that exists in your mind when you think you have a right to drive for another driver. You don't. You don't own their car. You don't pay their insurance. You don't pay their life or have lead or guide over it. Stay in your lane, not just physically, but mentally. Stay in your lane. And if you can go around them, smooth. Go around them. And some people are absolute jerks, and some of these folks feel entitled to harass you and give you a hard time if you're not going as fast as they think you should, or right up on your bumper and be jerks and a whole none of that. You have choices. You could respond ridiculously. You could elevate a situation that might cost your life or somebody's life that you're with, or you could let that idiot go be an idiot and harass somebody else and piss on somebody else's day and not be your problem. So these are, I am calling you back sensibly. Like, these are practical things, and these are everyday things that we're dealing with. And these are everyday people that we're dealing with. Like literally, y'all, folks have the things that they have. Everybody has something happening in their life because they're alive. And even when we feel like we are going through the day below, like the comment I made the other day was, I'm in the 5th circle of hell. Like, I feel like I'm below it, because it was so much going on. And even in the 5th circle of hell, it does not justify me because of who I say I am. It does not give me carte blanche to step up out of my body and out of my character and out of my principles and beliefs and act a certain way. I am not justified. I am not justified. So I am reminding us that if we're going to run around with a name on us, if we're going to proclaim Christ and Christ principles, there needs to be some evidence. And not just here and there, but baby, everyday evidence. And how do you achieve that? You achieve it by building them principles in you. You achieve it by getting in your word. You achieve it by knowing who you are. You achieve it by meditation. You achieve it by exercise. You achieve it by adding to your coping skills. You achieve it by professional help and counseling. You achieve it by working it out. It is your soul salvation. It's a daily thing. This is not a game. And I find that too many of us are playing with it. So that is why we're having this conversation today. And I'm offering principles to live by, because we gotta realign. We need to get this boat turned around. And sure, it might take time because it's a big, big boat. But I believe we can do it. I believe that we can put down stupidity, whether it's the lines of a church and thinking that they're better, whoever they are. I don't give a rat's crack what denomination or spiritual group you belong to. I could give a crack less. You ain't better than nobody else. You are not the only chosen anything. Stop lying to yourself and others. Get off your high horse, back the hell up off of people, and let folks breathe and work out their own salvation for themselves with the God that they know. Okay, pumpkin? And I say it with my chest so boldly because I am tired. I'm tired from watching the hurt that occurs when we forget kindness, which is where we started, right? When we forget kindness. We move into entitlement. We move into what belongs to us. We move into our way so easily. And I'm here to remind you, slide back. Give it some space. It's time to think and rethink, and then realign with who you are. And again, for those who do not stand under the umbrella of any religion, but you consider yourself spiritual, you still have gates and rules, even if they are self-defined. I would hope that your self-defined rules are based on love and what love looks like when it's outward facing. And the only way that works, and this considers everybody under the life umbrella, is inner love. Okay, that charity. I remember when I read what love was and how the word used to say charity. Charity is this, charity is that, charity is this. And it switched over in later years to love is, love is, love is. So I don't peel one layer off the other. I leave them as one. Charity and love as one leaf. Okay, as one mint that I'm going to make my tea and drink it from. Charity is patient. It is kind. It is long-suffering, and all these other wonderful things that love is, okay? So apply it. I'm patient with myself. I'm long-suffering with myself. I'm not envious. I'm not jealous. You know, all these things. Like, you can sit there and path it out for yourself, because I don't have to do that for you. We're adults. If there's a kid involved that's watching, hey, little one, ask your adults. And if the adults don't help you find it, I'm going to tell you what. Google. Auntie Google and Uncle YouTube is a bomb. Get that Holy Bible, King James Version. I'm a fan of that one, and the Holcomb and a few other ones. Okay, great. For the reading. And then too, don't stop there. Study all the way back to the Emerald Tablets. Don't be lazy in your learning. Don't be lazy in your living, and don't be lazy in your loving. And I don't think I could say that ever enough. So that's why we're saying it again. And I'm going to run back through these just a few one more time. Loving compassion. God loves you, God loves you, God loves you. Sovereign Abba loves you. Okay, sovereign divine spirit loves you. God is a term that we came to conclusion with, and it's just a universal da-da-da. But please meet sovereign divine spirit, right? Acknowledge that, find that for yourself. Define love for yourself, love and compassion, and practice it. Practice makes progress. Practice it. And believe and trust me, I think there's enough of us on this planet that give each other enough opportunities to really practice compassion and practice kindness and practice forgiveness, the whole nine of it. Forgiveness being the second, humility being the third, faith and trust in God 4, peace and non-violence 5, justice and righteousness on 6, charity and generosity on 7. And I have given you 7 principles to live by. And they're reminders, you know what I mean? Because I am believing that the majority of the people that encounter this podcast, you've heard either all of or parts of what I'm sharing here. So is it a shiny new light bulb? Nah, you know what it is? It is reinforcement, and it is reminder. And we all need reminders. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame involved. We can be walking in a direction and then realize we're going the wrong way and turn on back around. We may have learned these things and have them reinforced, forced, and even worked and acted on them for years on years on years. Then something happens that dishevels our being, and we start acting outside of ourselves. Well, awareness. You know, I call you to be aware of yourself and start taking inventory with a list of what I've given you. Please measure your heart. Please measure how you're handling the people around you. Please measure how you're handling your integrity. Please measure how you're loving yourself. Because if you can do a great job of loving yourself, it's going to make it a lot easier to love others. Like, it really will. When you take time to understand, oh God, I need compassion. I made a big stinking mistake. I bleeped up real good, and I owe some apologies. And I want to be forgiven. Okay? When that person goes and bleeps up real big, offending you, well, they want some compassion too. And they need to apologize. And guess what? You could be loving and accepting. Okay, you could be loving and receive and give love. So I am your reminder coach today, and it has been my pleasure to remind you that we could be better. We could be better. And I do, we had a strong conversation today, so I do want to end on a light note. All of these things are good things, okay? My heart is for you. My belief is in you. I believe that we all can grow. And even those who are doing our best and who are diligently working at these things, we're diligent, right? We're working at it. We still can raise the bar, right? And achieve. We can even reinforce what we're doing and achieve. And not only just for us, we could share. We could share what we've learned and help those around us be better, grow stronger, move forward with less angst and fear. We can do that because we're empowered to do so. We're equipped to do so. And for those of us who spend thousands and thousands of dollars to train and to learn how to better help and to love people, yay you. Like, high five, you get the high five from me. Yay you. Love somebody. And even if you haven't had a lick of training on nothing, practice loving somebody. That you can do without like any other training. You can do that. Okay, great. So it's been my pleasure to offer you episode 15 of Metamorphosis 365. If you know that you need a coach, you know you need an Intuit to come and do life alongside you, to journey with you through past traumas or present traumas. If you know you need to get out of a DV situation, if you know that you'd like to experience some rites and rituals on the spiritual end, if you know like that you'd like to encounter divine sovereign God and know God in you, I'm right here. Come on, let's have this conversation, because if you are ready for coaching, I'm ready to coach you. And that's for real, for real. You can text Coach Me to 321-443-2495. And do not get caught up in the I'ma do it when. Oh, okay, let me write that down. No. Go ahead, punch that in and text it on over and get it out the way, because procrastination is a thief. It's a thief, it's a thief, it's a thief. Don't get robbed. Please cover the message. Go ahead and hit the replay on it a couple of times. Take what you need from it. If you've been pressed or feel a little bit offended, I'm okay with that too. Go ahead and reach out to me and let me know why and how I can help, because my heart is to love you and love you back to life at that. Okay. And sometimes, like I mentioned before, love ain't always cute and soft and fluffy. Sometimes it's about the business of accountability and helping you to get the point from here to here in your chest, in your heart, so that you can walk it out in your life and have the life that you really sought to have, not be relegated to someone else's framework of what life is, but have your own. Okay, so with that, I'm at 58 minutes. We done did good. I done said enough. I'm complete. And I'm going to push another magic button. Let's see. I love when Troy is here, you guys. I'm sad when he leaves, but I'm going to find it. Oh, I found it. Oh, wait, let me share this. I'm so glad I did find it, because I forgot to share this. I'm going to share this one last slide, and then we're going to slide up out of here. Okay. Screenshot, take a picture, write it down. These are my services and pricing package. You see the number up in the corner. You see what's the text. Take a picture, take a picture, take a picture. Or reach out to me at Life is Sanctuary XP for more details on how we can work together and help you grow. All right. Bye.